This is not only one of the best players in the world, but Valorant's VCT World Champion winner. And I'm going to be going over what separates these people from even the top 1%.
Ew, why are you playing here?
He instantly walked on me?
Yep, that's me. And I'm going to be going over what separates Immortals from the best players in the world. I used to be stuck in lower elo, and I used to feel like there was something that these people knew that I just didn't know. And now not only do I play with the best of the best, I compete with the best of the best on my main and my ult account. And the tips I'm going to give in this video will allow you to hit any rank you want.
Yeah, Yoru's nice. So Yoru's have a good Yoru.
I'm not adding the Yoru PROZ. Prince Hayden 1212. You know what you get instead? A permaban. Add PROZ, add PROZ, add PROZ.
When I used to look up tips and tricks for videos on how to rank up, it always showed the basic things that every other video already said. And it's completely oversaturated. Like aiming head level. Like not every other video on the internet says that. But in this video, I'm going to be going over things that you might have never heard from any other streamer. And although I feel like every part of this video is just as important as any other part, I'm going to be adding sections in case you feel like one specific section fits your needs a little bit more. And this is what separates not just the top 1%, but the best players in the world. Now, I didn't want to go over this section, but I feel like it's something really important. I feel like everyone should be able to understand it. But these tips will not work if you don't actually want to rank up. Every single part and section of this video is just as important as any other section, and just not following one of these steps could keep you from ranking up. And you'll notice as I go throughout this video on how each one of these steps interfere with you.
Ten seconds left. One enemy remaining.
He's in outside.
I got the spike.
Nice!
Anyone else?
Now, I don't know what that'll look like to y'all, but I knew that kid was there because I'm a consistent player and I play ranked consistently. And the tips I'm going to be giving in this section are going to be vital, and they're things that you cannot skip out on if you truly want to rank up. Consistency is the most important thing that separates good players from great players. And this section might be one of the longest sections out of all of them, but it's one of the most important ones, and I want you to please focus up. Now, if you would like to disagree with me on any of these points, that's completely up to you, but I'm just being honest. Playing Swift Play or Unrated or any other game mode besides comp or at least competing in tournaments is not what you should be playing. You'll notice in the clip above that not at any point did I even see the cipher, but I was able to predict where he was playing just off of game sense. And I usually hate it when people mention this in videos because they never give an example for how to actually improve as subjects like this, but I'm giving you one. Don't play Swift Play, don't play Unrated, don't sit there all day playing team deathmatches, play ranked. I understand everyone wants to have fun and they want to hang out with their friends, but I'm being honest, it's going to prohibit you from hitting any rank that you want. People are going to play different in Swift Plays and Unrated and TDMs than they'll play in ranked. People aren't going to swing the same, they're not going to have the same mindsets, and they're not going to move around and objectively throw util the same. Once you're consistently playing ranked, you'll be able to predict what the other team's thinking and what their movements and swings are going to be like and where they might position themselves on the map. Now, I've already told you that consistency is the name of the game, and I'm gonna tell you how you can make your aim more consistent. And like I said in my last video, you sitting there complaining about your aim being the issue is not good enough. You need consistent aim, and sitting here acting like your aim just is not as good as other players is not gonna get you far. And I'm gonna cut the beat real quick because like I said in the last video, and just like Kendrick Lamar said, I'm about to put y'all on game. Okay, focus up. These are the average senses: 800 DPI, 1600 DPI, and 400 DPI. If you are outside these ranges and you're sitting there complaining about your aim, you probably need to move within them at either high or low. It really doesn't matter, it's personal. Just please stay around average. And if you don't know your DPI, I'd either search up the brand name of your mouse and see if they have any software downloads that you can link with your mouse, or I just get a completely different mouse, because you not knowing your DPI is not gonna get you far. I'm just being completely honest. You're playing one of the most competitive shooters in the world, and these people at the highest echelon of the game, millionaires, are choosing their equipment precisely and how they like it, and perfectly how they like it. And you sitting there with your $20 mouse you got from Walmart that you don't know your DPI and you don't know your exact sense, you don't know how to compare it to other people's, it's not it. It's not a consistent look. You need something that you can rely on and outsource and compare to other people's. When I first started playing first-person shooters, I asked why my aim was so bad, and people just kept saying sensitivity is a personal preference, not knowing that my sensitivity was 20 times higher than the average person's. And my basic rule of thumb for consistency within whatever sense you're playing, don't aim through the wall like you're cheating. You need to be able to comprehend when someone's swinging you and give your crosshair enough space to shoot them. Don't aim directly at the wall, just aim a little bit to the left of it. It's sad to say, but aiming is almost completely luck unless you're using your positioning and crosshair placement. And this is something that I see people messing up a lot, and you need to continuously focus on this. Don't aim through the wall like you're cheating. That's what you can refer to it as. Sometimes when I'm swinging a corner, it feels like I'm moving too fast, and it's hard for me to keep my crosshair in place. And a basic rule of thumb for consistency is taking your time. You need to make sure that all your movements are just. Like the clip you're seeing, my crosshair is thrown all over the screen. But if I slow down, crouch, take my time, clear every corner and nook, my crosshair placement will be nearly perfect and always ready for someone to be there and for them to swing. Never just rush into angles. Do not ever unkeybind your crouch key. It might be one of the worst things you can possibly do. There's so many angles, positions, and movements that you're able to perform that you cannot if you unkeybind your crouch. And it would make zero sense for you to unkeybind something like crouching. The only issue in which most people have is crouch spraying. It has nothing to do with the action of crouching. It's because you spray. When you're shooting, you should only shoot 5 bullets at a time, and you should not be spraying. Anything more than 5 is not consistent, and consistency is the name of the game. Your shots should be consistent, your movement should be consistent, and your crosshair placement should be consistent. You crouching is not the reason you're losing. If anything, crouching could be the reason you're alive a little bit longer, just so you have enough time to crouch spray. If you didn't crouch, you probably would have already gotten your head taken off. Your issue is spraying. The best players in the world crouch in most of their gunfights. Understanding when you should and shouldn't crouch is the main issue. I crouch in almost every single gunfight, and some I know I shouldn't, and others I feel like it's just right. Sometimes crouch spamming will get you out of certain situations in which you would have already died. If you want tips on how to practice not crouch spraying, focusing on trying to win in death matches instead of thinking of them as just practice will help you. The difference between death matches and end-game ranked is because you feel more stressed out about actually killing the opponent. And if you wanted to focus on winning your death matches, you would feel the exact same about winning death matches as ranked. And then your death matches would be good practice. Because now every single fight you get in, you'll find is important, and you won't tense up when you get in the important fights. This is something I wanted to include, and although it might not mean much to y'all, I felt like these were a few things that my teammates struggle with, and even the other team doesn't even notice that I'm doing. This has gotten me the reputation of a literal cheater just because I'm able to know what the other team's doing without any information. Use this clip for example. This is the clip of me playing against EG Boostio, and he fade ults me.
No, I was fucking.
Face your fear!
Most people, when they get fade ulted, they get scared and run away. But me using my aggressive playstyle has put me in a situation to get extra info on him and chase him down. He thinks that we don't know where he's at, but yet I'm right behind him the whole time. And that what lets me catch him off guard whenever he gets off the spike and I shoot him in the back. Being able to play unpredictable and weird in certain situations gets you in amazing spots. And whenever you play by textbook, everyone knows what you're doing. And I need you to understand that when you play a certain way, you need to be playing how the other team would not expect you. In certain spots, a raise ult might get popped. Run at the raise ult instead of running away. Teams will absolutely be shooketh. Once you start learning how to be unpredictable, you'll start thinking about what the other team's thinking about. And you'll be able to read what their plays are. Imagine your site's getting pushed, and you're holding A, and you kill all 5 of them and pull a flawless. Not one of your teammates die. Chances are, they're not going to go A again. They're most likely going to go B. And once you start thinking about this kind of stuff in your ranked matches, you'll notice it's true. If a team's getting destroyed on one objective, chances are they'll rotate. And you might be able to implement it on your side. If you push A site and your team gets destroyed, maybe sometimes you just go A again and they might not have anyone there. Being able to think about the situation objectively instead of from your own POV, you'll be able to understand what the other team's thinking almost 100% of the time. You should throughout an entire game be thinking, what are they thinking? You have to be trying to be in the eyes of the other person in a way. You have to understand what the other person's going through and then use that against them. Use this clip for example.
Triple dead.
What do you do it?
There must be you all. Could be you all now. Could be you all now.
I broke my
I
trip
sucked you.
line.
I sucked.
Broke my trip line.
Oh my wire.
Still there.
Don't peek flank. Don't peek flank.
Camera taken out.
One enemy remaining.
No.
The moment I get this pick, I know that it's winnable and I know that I'm gonna ult.
On James.
The second I ult, I know they're gonna want to stick together. So I throw a blind before they can actually get to each other.
He ulted. Wow.
Stick together,
That's
stick
too
together.
much. I'm dead.
Last
Short,
player
short.
standing.
And after I kill Sam, I throw a real TP knowing he would never expect it. Not just because he's scared, but he's scared because his whole team's watching him and I just killed half of his team.
It was real.
It was. Look, you see what I mean with the Yoru's? Like, fuck, the Yoru's like, this is some crazy Yoru shit.
Understanding that when you do stuff and why you do it might be the most important thing you can do to rank up. You have to be able to understand when it's best to use your utility and how to use it.
Oh, we can't aim now.
Flashing. Flashing.
Yep, I see Hulk. I see
You
Hulk.
see what I mean? You guys see what I mean? But this guy doesn't listen. Everyone sees it.
Explain to you something. Let me explain to you something. Muda. You don't curve flashes. That's 2020 when people were noobs, okay? When you say you flash a corner, it pops at the corner. Do you understand we're at the highest level, okay? And people dodge flashes if you curve it. Have you played against this guy?
Commonly, people are used to throwing util a specific way, not understanding that there are better ways, or that the way they're throwing it not only puts their team at a disadvantage, but causes rounds to be lost. You should fully understand why you're throwing your util, how you could be throwing it better, and different ways to approach a round. The reason I showed this clip shows that the greatest players in the world understand adaptation and overthinking. You cannot go off what other people commonly do. You need to come up with your own formula of plays and situations that you can put yourself in that work. And just like my last video, the way I described it is being an autodidact. You Google that word, it means self-taught. You should be learning things in better situations, spots, on your own. Obviously not saying you can't seek help from others. Just saying you should think of it from a factual point of view and not from how they feel about it. If a person's telling you a play is good, you should think about how often it actually works. Under almost any situation, your settings should be as optimized as they can be. And when I say these kind of things, I mean whether it's your map, your mouse settings, your crosshair settings, everything should be optimized for the best of your abilities. If you're able to pull out a blind, you should be able to pull out your blind while moving left and while moving right. If you want to pull out a gun, you should be able to pull it out while moving left, right, forward. I've spent hours setting up my keybinds so that way I feel like they're as efficient as they can be and I can never get caught up not being able to press certain buttons. If you would like to see my settings, you can catch me live on Twitch, twitch.com/PROZFan. I'm live almost every single day. And now that we're at this point in the video, I would like to say if you would show any support, whether it's a like, a comment, a sub, or even to just look at my Twitch channel, it's actually so appreciated. And I actually mean it. I spend so much time making these videos and I don't make a cent. And I am telling you things that no other video will be telling you. Thought I would point this out because it seems like every single person I talk to still thinks Jett is meta. Jett might be used in Pro League, but this is not Pro League. It's a ranked match. Anytime you watch professional players play Jett, they have two initiators. They have someone blinding for him and droning for him and smoking for him. You do not have those kind of teammates. You do not have those kind of blinds being used for you. And you do not have those kind of info darts being used for you. Please do not be playing Jett in ranked. I mean it. It's very rare that it's good unless you have like a Yoru on your team who can blind for you and then you have an info initiator. If you feel like your Jett's working, I just want you to think about the times in which you lose or you can't take a site or something's going bad and think about how you could have done better with a different agent, because most of the time you can. You probably could have done better if your other teammate chose an initiator or you just chose not to play Jett. I hate to say this, but in 2024, Yoru is meta. Yoru has been buffed over and over again, and Jett has received nothing else but nerfs. Recently, Yoru has become meta not one but two maps and Raze is chosen on most of the others. The only reason Jett has a value is if you're opping. And I highly recommend, and this is a tip to all Jett players who refuse to give it up, you should probably be buying an op more often. Because even in Pro League, Raze has taken up multiple maps and Yoru's taken up multiple maps like Bind and Breeze. And I was asked to give an agent tier list, and I'm going to be giving one that I think is good for ranking up, but not really a tier list, but my recommended. It'd probably be somewhere around Sky, Yoru, Reyna, Phoenix even. Something that's self-reliant. And in my last video, I made a tip about self-reliance. And some people got really upset about it. And I don't want y'all to be upset. I just want you to understand that when you ask your teammates for something and they don't do it well, that happens to everyone. You can't blame your teammates whenever something bad happens when that also happens to everyone else. Every single time I have to ask for a blind, my teammates aren't going to do it well either. You have to be somewhat self-reliant to where you can win games just because you're a good player individually. You cannot be relying on everyone else. So if you need a blind at some specific point, have your own blinds. If you need TPs at some specific point, have your own TPs. If you need to be able to do whatever you need to do, please be able to do it self-reliantly and do not blame your teammates. And I'm going to be saying this before the video ends. If you actually use any of these tips and you really do enjoy watching this video, I'd appreciate any support. Like I said, I don't make a penny making these videos. I just spend a lot of time making them because y'all asked me to. If there's anything that I missed, I do stream live at twitch.com/PROZ, PROZFAN, PROZ fan. And if y'all want to stop by and ask me some questions, I'm more than open to answer them. Just please don't ask the same question over and over again. Please don't ask something that's blatant or blunt, like how can I rank up? I've been giving you tips to rank up, and if you have something in particular to ask me, I'd love to answer. I appreciate making the video. Adios.
Diplomas on the wall, and really I think I like who I'm becoming. There's times where I might